Period poverty does not only entail the lack of sanitary pads or period hygiene products, it also entails the unavailability of adequate factual knowledge about menstruation disseminated to girls in our society. Period poverty is the reason why most of you find that conversation uneasy, because it is not something we can discuss openly, even with our own mothers who are women like us, and they know what it feels like to experience this. Okay? So what do we end up doing? We experience periods the best way we can. And the society has made sure that we feel ashamed of ourselves during periods. We feel unclean. Periods are associated with a lot of filth. Ukinunua sanitary pad inafungwa na gazeti. Kwa nini? Kwani kuna kitu inamwagika? Yes? Why do we need to wrap sanitary pads with a gazeti? Okay? I always say unwrap the shame. My packet of sanitary pad got nothing to be embarrassed about. It is not filthy. In fact, it is a basic need for me and every menstruating girl and woman in Kenya. Okay? The period blood, it is the only blood that lacks filth in it. It is the blood of life. In fact, we are all a missed period. Yes, all of us. We are products of a missed period cycle. We got fertilized. Otherwise, sote tungetoka tu kama periods. Sindio? Periods is the source of life. That's where life begins. So why are we embarrassed? It is a biological and normal fact that we cannot change as women. We have to undergo it. We don't have a choice. And I still live to see the day that pads are free for every school-going girl in this country. They say sex is a choice. Periods are not. But they still continue to give us free condoms. In fact, I was very shocked when I came to the university. There were a lot. I remember some of my course mates walijaza a bag. And then tulikuwa tunaenda discussion somewhere around VC Square, mmoja akafungwa bag vibaya, zikamwagika. And I'm like, what? Sex is a choice. And the reason as to why I'm not saying giving condoms for free is a bad thing. But I saw a statistic that say new HIV infections in our country, 51% are between adolescents and below 29. Are the free condoms working for our age? And I still saw another statistics that said 10% of 15-year-old girls are exchanging sex for a packet of sanitary pads in this country. How are we changing the narrative when it comes to menstruation in our country? Why does a girl have to go have sex to manage her periods? So what happens? Does she know, if she doesn't have a sanitary pad, does she know how to use a condom when having sex? Does she know how risky it is to have unprotected sex? There was a year that Kenya ranked third worldwide teenage pregnancies. So period poverty has a ripple effect on the girl child. And it starts with giving ourselves and other girls knowledge, information, and support. We advocate for better. I'm very happy that this was a it was a women's forum, but we have some men here. They are supposed to be doing their work, but I also want them to carry a message. We cannot end the shame if the men continue not to understand what menstruation means for women. We as girls, we already know how it feels. We already know the shame. We come to face with it every month. We understand that. But we still school, especially in those primary schools. We still schooled with boys who laughed at us. How was the process of changing a pad in school for you. Primary school, secondary school. Those who went primary school ndo tulisoma na boys sana, si ndio? How was it? Was it easy? Were we like, I'm going to change my pad, you know? Yeah? Were we that empowered? In fact, by the time utoe pad kwa bag yako, ingie kwa mfuko yako ya dress, it is a highly classified mission. And you're just a girl trying to grow up. You're just a young girl trying to embrace this change. Why do they have to make you feel, man, why did you laugh at us in primary school? You know, today, I told you I have 2 sons. I don't hide my pads. Okay? They see them, they ask, Mommy, what is this? I tell them those are sanitary pads. They are used by girls. Okay? As at the age they are right now, they are content with that answer. Once they get to an older age, yenye wamefunzwa shule mambo ya periods, now the same question I will answer different. Okay? Because you need to support your daughter. If you have one or if you get one. You need to support your spouse. We grew up, some of us, with brothers only, and we experienced these periods when we didn't have anyone around but them. But you couldn't tell them. Okay? In school, if you ever soiled your dress, they started saying you have broken your virginity. So the stigma begins. They think that you're already sexually active. They are labeling you all these names. Ukiona msichana ako na damu, huyu ametoka kuhave sex. Okay? We need to end the shame. We need to break the stigma. And it begins with us as girls. In this university, first years are here. I want you to embrace your period journey from this moment onward. It is a normal fact of life. You're not going to change that. She talked about, Marceline talked about low self-esteem. Menstruation is one of the causes why girls experience low self-esteem. If little stress that we were talking about makes you feel so uncomfortable about yourself, you start getting feelings of hate towards yourself. Now imagine periods. She said her periods were not painful. Now, mine, let me tell you. I've told you my first period encounter was a nightmare because it happened when I was visiting a relative. Na unajua watu wa Murima tunatandika vitambaa kila mahali. So I slept on the couch and my periods decided, the Department of Puberty in heaven decided, let us bless this girl this night with some periods. So I wake up in the morning, I have soiled the whole kitambaa. I was shocked. I was feeling ashamed. Like, why did it have to happen in my sleep? You know? Well, my relative did her best to make me feel better, okay? But it didn't work because now came the cramps, okay? My cramps were severe. I had to manage them with painkillers. That's another thing. I've been training in high schools and junior highs, and kuna kitu niliambiwa, ati msichana akiwa na severe pain inamsaidia kuvumilia kuzaa. Unazaa uko na miaka 13. You have to suffer severe cramps so that you can prove you're a woman who can give birth. You don't have to. Are we together? In this university, we have a health unit. If you experience severe cramps, go there, get painkillers. Isn't that pain? Okay? Other activities that can help you to feel better, take a lot of fluids. Take warm baths in the morning and in the evening. Stay active. Here, university, by the way, I love one thing about this university. Whether you like it or not, you'll be active because class number 1 will be here, class number 2 itakuwa huko. Okay? Being active helps you. If you have your periods over the weekend, usilale ati unaumwa sana, no. Okay? Be active. Another thing comes with mood, lack of appetite, and all that. Make sure you eat and you eat healthy. Are we together? Some people will get periods and they start craving. Unasikia tu kukula chips mwitu. Yani, and then you tell someone, they tell you, hey, uko na mimba. No, cravings come with periods. Are we together? But strive to eat healthy and strive to eat foods that give your body energy and also replenish your vitamin supplies and blood zinarudisha damu kwa mwili. Sawa sawa. The other thing is, if you experience a woman who is not very confident during her periods, in this journey, we have them. Try to be a source of encouragement. Are we together? Do not sideline her. If she lacks in terms of products, talk to Mukami. Mukami will talk to me. I will always somehow figure out how girls will get sanitary hygiene products. Don't let a girl miss an exam, miss a class, or miss a day in her life just because she's menstruating and she cannot access sanitary hygiene products. Are we together? The other thing, you have to intentionally make the conversation about menstruation an inclusive conversation. Okay? It is not a women issue anymore. I am a woman, I'm raising boys. Do I have to hide all my life, changing pads? When I'm in pain, I have to lie? When the men, I went to one school and I always speak about this as a highlight of my journey in advocacy. We trained in one school and we trained both boys and girls. And the boys will help us distribute the sanitary pads. One boy came back and told me, give me a pad I take home for my sister. That was the highlight of my training that day. That boy is going to be the most supportive man for women when they're menstruating. I've met a man in Kenya, he advocates for periods. He's called the period man, you can Google him, you'll find him. It is very, very satisfying to see how girls now easen up in those classes. When we train them in the presence of boys, and boys participate in the whole session and understanding, and you ask them, how do you feel? They say, feel better. Now they understand, they won't laugh. You know, I can carry my pad without feeling like I'm doing something wrong. You know, I can grow up. I can be proud of becoming a girl. Are we together? Yes. Somebody asked a question about missing your menses. Now, you talked a lot about the changes, the reasons that can make you miss your menses, the climate change, the stress, change of diet, and all those things. If it persists, always seek medical attention. Are we together? Now, somebody asked about infections. Now, girls at this age, you're going to meet a doctor that you have never probably met in your life. What do we call that doctor? Not Dr. Google. There's another specialist, a gynecologist. Okay? Who is a gynecologist? Yes? He handles reproductive health. This is the daktari that you'll go see and atakwambia panda kwa kitanda panua miguu. Okay? At this point, you have to take your reproductive health seriously. Pads and menstruation and wearing all those things and all that comes sometimes with different reactions from our bodies, especially when we use brands that are not agreeing with our bodies. Okay? So the first time you notice irritation, change your brand of pads. Okay? Those who are using pads, we have those who use menstrual cups, we have those who use tampons. I believe the experience is the same. If it is causing you irritation, change the brand. Are we together? Now, when that happens, if these symptoms persist even after menstruation, make sure to see a gynecologist. We share toilets in the university so much, so we will have the UTIs and all that. Any discomfort you notice, and you feel this is not your body, and it is happening down there, don't be ashamed of it. Go seek medical help. You're not the first one. We have gone through that. Are we together? Yes. So thank you, Mokami, for this opportunity, and I look forward to inviting you again. I believe Mokami will be having another event where we will bring in the boys in the menstrual talk. Okay? Yes, so God bless you all. Thank you. Thank you so much, Yvonne, for the invitation. My name is Neva Mwendoa Keremi. I work at a Gender Violence Recovery Center as a counseling psychologist. We say tunaita GVRC. So GVRC, we say it's a charitable trust of the Nairobi Women's Hospital that provides free treatment and free psychosocial support to gender-based violence survivors. So ukipata umeasotiwa sexually ama physically, you can visit any of our centers, and the psychosocial support, that is counseling and peer the treatment, itakuwa free. So unfortunately, hapa Embu hatuna GVRC, but we have a number of centers. We have 9 centers where there is a Nairobi Women's Hospital, kuna that unit of gender. So for me, I'm from Meru unit, tukuna Meru unit, we have Mombasa unit, we have Naivasha. We have 2 in Nakuru, we have CBD and IRAT. We have in Nairobi 2, Adams and Hurlingham. Then in Rongai we have 1, and Kitengela we have 1. So that is what we do for the survivors of GBV. Of late tumekuwa tukisikia GBV is everywhere. It's in church, shule, kwa familia, in every social space there is gender violence. Sawa sawa. So gender violence ni nini? Okay, we say gender-based violence is any harmful act that has been perpetrated to a person on their gender without consent. Sawa sawa. Sawa sawa, any harmful act that has been perpetrated to a person on their gender without their consent. Sawa sawa, the aspect of consent is very crucial on matters of GBV. So we have forms of gender-based violence, we have sexual violence and physical violence. So on matters of sexual violence, we have a number of semi-sexual violence, kuna defilement, kuna rape, attempted defilement, attempted rape, indecent act. Sawa sawa. Na pia sexual assault. So for defilement, it's a sexual assault that has been perpetrated to a person below 18 years old. Sawa sawa. Yes, kama wewe uko that is now 17 kuenda chini. Sawa sawa. Hiyo inaitwa defilement. Sawa sawa. So for a rape case, it's a sexual assault that has been perpetrated to a person over 18 years old without their consent. Sawa sawa. Yes, kama umetoka hapa, ukaenda kwa boyfriend, hamkuwa mmesikizana, alafu akakushika cha nguvu, we are all over 18 years old hapa, si ndio? Akakushika cha nguvu, akakuforce, it was not your will, you didn't give consent, si ndio? So hiyo tutafanya nini? Tutaiita rape, sawa sawa? Kuna hii the aspect of maybe ulikuwa unapita hapa kwa university, mtu akakuja akakuspank. Nani ashaifanyiwa hivyo? But we have those incidences happening in the maybe in the university ama kwa street while walking around. So those are the forms of sexual violence zenye tuko nazo. On physical violence, it's where mtu anakuchapa. So for physical violence, it's between it can be an intimate partner violence. These are violence between a husband and a wife, a girlfriend and a boyfriend. Sawa sawa. Hapa tuko na wamama, tuko na moms, pia mimi am a mother of 3. And tunaweza pitia intimate partner violence. Si ndio? Si tuko na boyfriends? Do we have boyfriends? Yes, so itaweza fika time yenye maybe mmeanza kugombana, ukachapa boyfriend yako, si ndio? Ama pia kwa nini mnacheka? Yes. Ama pia akaweza kukufanya nini? Kukuchapa. That's an intimate partner violence. Sawa sawa. Ama pale nyumbani maybe your dad akachapa mama yako, ama the vice versa, the mother akachapa the dad. That's an intimate partner violence. So we have hizi violence zingine zenye maybe neighbor anachapa
mwingine, colleagues wanachapana, wamama kwa soko wanachapana, sawa sawa. Yes, we have another form of violence yenye tunasema is emotional violence. Emotional violence, it could be in a family setup ama bado mko kwa relationship, lakini huyo boyfriend yako ama wewe mwenyewe unakaa ukimuita, ukimdemean ama kumdhalilisha. Ile yenye wewe unakaa hivi, unakaa hivi, unakaa hivi. I just love the two speakers who've talked before me and wameongelea hiyo kitu ya esteem. Esteem. For me, I must acknowledge the University of Embu because first, when I was in university, sijaisikia forum kama hii university yenye tulikuwa. Hatujaiitiwa speakers wakuja watuongeleshe on these topics that you guys are being talked about. So, for me, I felt like this is a good initiative that the university has taken. The Bible tells us that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Sindio, lakini right now you are equipped with that knowledge. Mtaperish kweli? Hapana, sindio? So I was seated there and seeing some girls wanapita, wengine wanapita hivi. And I'm asking, kwa nini hawaingii? Kukuja kufanya nini? Kufunzwa, sawa sawa. So it's a good initiative that Yvonne has come with. So on the matter of emotional violence, ambapo huyo mtu anakaa akikudhalilisha, anakaa kukuita, wewe sijui unakaa aje, wewe sijui kwenu mkoaje, hiyo. Ama anakuambia wewe mwenyewe, anakutusi. How do you feel ukitusiwa? Si esteem yako inaenda chini? Inaendanga chini? Yes. So on the matter of affirmation, you should always affirm to yourself like, mimi in as much as niko kwa hii relationship, I'm not going to let maybe my boyfriend do what? Demean me, ama anitusi, ama nifanyie kitu yoyote, si ndio? Because we say in a relationship is a two-way. Is that like you give me, I give you, si ndio? You do me, I do you, si ndio? Tuko pamoja. So in as much as you're growing up na tuko kwa hizo relationship, do not accept to be in a abusive relationship. Sawa sawa. Ukiona mtu anakuchapa, boyfriend anakuchapa, bwana anakuchapa, and maybe you cannot settle down, usitake kuenda kwenu kwa coffin. There's something I read on Facebook that you'd rather go back to your parents' house ukiwa mzima kuliko kuenda huko na nini? Na jeneza, si ndio? So kama vitu haziwork, we have to say as girls, na tukue na hiyo assertiveness kwa sisi haiwork, si ndio? We cannot force things to work, sawa sawa. Hatuwezi force hawa watu kutupenda kama tuwapendi, si ndio? And in the other hand, we cannot force them to do what? To love us if they don't love us, sawa sawa. Because kama it is not something mutual, kutakuwa na tashwishi hapo, sawa sawa. So we have a number of causes of gender-based violence. Tunaweza sema gender-based violence inakosiwa na poverty. Evelyn has talked about periods poverty, si ndio? And that can cause gender-based violence where a young girl kwao anapata haezi afford pesa ya kununua sanitary pad, anasema acha mimi niende nilale na huyu mtu anipe pesa ya kufanya nini? Ya kununua hizo pads. Sawa sawa. We have illiteracy, lack of knowledge. Hawa watu hawajui, hawajui what should be done. Maybe in a relationship, vitu haziwork, huyu mtu amekuchapa, you don't know the next step that you're going to take. Are we together? We have decisions that we make. What decisions do you make? Maybe umekosana na mzazi jioni, umetoka tu ukaenda. Kwa hiyo kuenda it is maybe around 9, unapatana na mtu kwa barabara, mtu akujui, anakushika, anakurape. It's a decision that you made, si ndio? for me I say like kukosana na mzazi it shouldn't be a big deal. Na sifai kutoka kwetu because nimekosana na mzazi. Nitaenda wapi? Kama nimekosana na mzazi nafaa kuenda wapi? Nafaa kuenda kwa boyfriend? Unafaa kukaa hapo because in the long run huyo mzazi tu ni atakusaidia kufika pale penye unataka kufika, si ndio? Ama mtaweza kusolve na yeye the issue that was there so that you are able to settle the matter that was there. Si ndio? Ukienda kwa boyfriend ukae huko 3-4 days utaripotiwa kwa polisi kama missing what? Person. Si ndio? Yes. So for decisions that you make, be very careful on the decisions that we make. We have another course, maybe going to isolated areas. From where I sit, I've received a number of cases za wasichana wenye ni first years, mostly ni first years in some campus in Meru, ama in some college in Meru. Alafu wakasema acha waende out. Mmefika like last week, this week, weekend, mnasema muende out. Kuenda huko out, unajua you are new to that place, you're new to that environment. Haujui ni nini huwa ina happen huko. So unaenda ni kwa vichaka, msitu hivi, wanashikwa na watu huko. They get raped by those men wenye wanakuwa huko. In as much as it wasn't your fault, be very careful when going to isolated areas. Ndio? Tuko pamoja. Haya, ingine is kupanda hizi si matatu, gari, taxi zenye hatujui ama nduthi zenye hatujui how riders. Mostly the perpetrators, I can say from my work experience, from where I sit, that mostly the perpetrators wengine wanakuwa ukishapanda taxi ama ile nduthi yenye umetumia. Umetoka hapa town, unatoka hapa university, maybe ukienda town, lakini hapo hujui ni nini ili happen, akakuingisha sijui kwa vichorochoro fulani, sijui mkapitia huko, akaenda akakurepia huko. My time is over. Almost over. So another one is lawlessness. Maybe unapata in Kenya tuko na policies lakini hazifanyi nini? Hazifuatiliwi, si ndio? Yes, because if someone has kama mtu ameni assault, I expect to go to report to the police, niende hospitali nichekiwe first. Alafu after treatment I go back to the police so that the police can be able to take that action. Lakini unapata most of the time the police wana evade ama wataki kufanya nini kushughulika na hiyo maneno. So we have effects, consequences as I finish of gender-based violence. Stigma is one because this is something traumatic yenye inakufanyikia. It's something that was unexpected ama ni kitu yenye huku unatarajia ikufanyikie, si ndio? You can get traumatized. Unaweza kuwa na suicidal thoughts. You just want to take your life. You can have STIs, sexually transmitted infections, ambazo tunasema when you get assaulted, tafadhali fika kwa hospitali within 72 hours. Within the 72 hours, kuna dawa zenye utaweza kupewa, but past the 72 hours, kuna dawa zingine zenye hautaweza kupewa. So it is prudent for you. It's like a self-initiative. Though it's not an easy thing to do, kuenda kwa hospitali. Lakini most of us tunapata tumekuwa assaulted, tunaenda kwa hospitali, unataka tu kupimiwa HIV. It is not HIV pekee yenye unaweza kupata, unaweza pata ball, si ndio? Na hizo STI zingine zenye tumesemea. So as my time is over, let us all gather together because we can say gender violence ina affect females pekee, pia male wana affectiwa with the same matter. Sawa sawa. So to shine sisi wote in our society to eliminate gender-based violence. Sawa. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is John Linus. I'm the chairperson for UNESCO Youth Forum. UNESCO is the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization. what UNESCO do is to create a conducive environment where people can live to their full potential in a way that they get access to quality education, they get access to information, they be informed in the trends in technology, trends in everything that happen in the world, and also taking care of their cultural heritage, preserving the intangible and tangible cultural heritage. And for that, today we celebrate International Peace Day, and I want to celebrate with us all that we appreciate peace, because nothing can thrive without peace. And that is why we are advocating for a conducive environment, an environment where we can do business, an environment where we can learn, an environment where we can live to our full potential as young people. So that is why we advocate for peaceful environment. Thank you.
Hi everyone. I go by the name Lydia Chie. I'm from the UNFPA Youth Advisory Panel. So UNFPA stands for United Nations Populations Fund. So UNFPA is the lead UN agency that do matter sexual reproductive health and rights. So our key focuses are always, we work towards the 3 zeros. I hope all of us had a chance to look at our beautiful banner. So we are working towards 0 preventable maternal deaths, 0 unlimited need for family planning, and 0 gender-based violence and harmful practices. Which means we are working, our aim is to deliver a world where there is 0 unmet need for family planning, 0 maternal death, and also to ensure that every young person's capability is reached. So what does the panel do? The panel basically we advise the country office on how to engage the youth and matter sexual and reproductive health. The panel is made up of different kinds of people, of course from different counties, and we also have the special groups. What do I mean by special groups? So the special groups are persons living with HIV/AIDS, persons with disability, and the people living in informal settlements. In the panel, I also represent the persons living in informal settlements. So in a nutshell, that is what is UNFPA Youth Advisory Panel.
Yeah, thanks for that question. I can say that as Kenya, we've gone very well in line with the representation in the parliament, and not only in the parliament. That is why we have the women representatives, and also women are also in every organization I've seen there are women represented. But I want to emphasize that they need to involve many women, and more so to engage ladies to know that they need to take role in every activity that is happening. So that is why we come to these kinds of platforms. We tell them that they take bold action and to feel incorporated in these platforms. And I'm proud to say that in UNESCO Youth Forum, we have a well representation of women, and we still need more to come on board with their innovative ideas, to learn and share with us what they have from their different background and innovative ideas that they have, so that we see how best we can implement them. And also to say that every idea counts. Just the same way the other speakers have said that don't feel like you are incapable. So be bold enough, share your value, tell the world that I'm capable of doing this and this. And also what I would like to urge us is that we are in a world where technology has really done a very, very big technology we have to embrace. We are in a world where we have artificial intelligence. Are we going to work in line with this technology and also work within the ethics of technology? So I would like to urge us also that package yourself, How you package yourself as a woman, how you package myself as a man, and how we package ourselves in online platforms matters a lot. So the moment you share your value online, a number of people will get to know that I'm this kind of a person, I'm this kind of a woman who is able to do this thing from this area, regardless of where you come from. So that one will make sure that there will be equality and ensuring that opportunities are shared equally. Because the moment you see an opportunity online, there are a lot of opportunities that are online. So just to mention but a few, but to say, be active, be ready to learn, and be ready to share your idea. That is where people will get to know you and make sure that you are involved in these decision-making processes. Thank you. It is a very, very sensitive question, but we always encourage women to turn out in numbers to participate in this even political forum. So the most important thing is empowering the women. Empowering in a way that they can be ready to make their own capital, ready to make their own finances to participate in these political seats. Because understanding that the kind of mindset that we have in the world, a mindset where people feel like you need to give them something is when you're being voted for. So I believe that with the little efforts that we make, if you bring your idea on board, I bring my idea on board, we give even these ideas to UNESCO or giving to this big institution, we can influence change. And that is what we are there to amplify and making sure that every idea counts and no one is left behind. Thank you.
At UNFPA, we say pregnancy by choice, not pregnancy by chance. So the reason as to why we say this and how we are also mitigating this, we are ensuring that the youth and the women have access to contraception. So when you give a woman the chance to decide on whether they want contraception or not, you know that you have given them a chance to ensure that they have a choice either to give birth or not to give birth. So we always say it's pregnancy by choice. You don't have to go and have a baby that you do not need. So what we do mostly is we do prevention before it happens. So we, at UNFPA, we really advocate for, if you're sexually active and at your age, please go for contraceptives.
So intimate partner violence is the abuse or aggressive that occurs in a romantic relationship. Intimate partner refers to both current and former spouses and dating partners. So it is also the breach of the fundamental right to life, liberty, security, and dignity, equality between men and women, non-discrimination and integrity and mental integrity. Are we together? So what are some of the forms of IPV?
Psychological abuse.
Psychological abuse, another one?
Physical abuse.
Physical abuse, yes. Ladies, look here. We have sexual violence, which was shared by my sister from GVRC. We have physical, emotional, harmful traditional practices. And also, we have socioeconomic violence. By the way, people invest emotionally into relationships. Are you getting it? The thing is, how do you sustain this investment? Okay? How do you want to ensure that your feelings or emotional investment does not affect or interfere with your partner? These are the generations and the genesis of violence between two partners. We've had so many cases of university where people kill themselves, where nani mulipigania zie wote mkaanza kuwana, okay? Nani snatched my boyfriend, my girlfriend. Ay, jamani, surely. There's what we call mind over muscle. This is where you don't allow your emotions to overtake your mind. Are you together? Ukikasirishwa jamani, try to have what we call emotional intelligence. where you can handle situations no matter how hard or tough they are. There are questions that were being asked here that needs you to have a very strong muscle in the mind for you to be able to manage every situation. Whether you're coming from a violent family, or they're coming from a violent world, you have to have a very strong muscle in the mind. Hello? Mtu amezuba. Ai! Jameni comrade. Okay, so reasons why we have a lot of intimate partner violence, we have socioeconomic and demographic changes, government, religion. By the way, religion is one of the factors that also contributes to people getting into intimate partner violence. Now, vulnerable categories of IPV, we have female more often, students, which are you guys, and then the impacts of, they were all mentioned, absenteeism, severe mental and physical health issues, dropout of schools, suicidal attempts. Let me give you some data. Listen. It is said that about 41% of women and 26% of men experience contact sexual violence, physical violence, and or stalking by an intimate partner. And this happens a lot. Ladies in the house, I know you've heard of these cases happening before. These were cases of university students who lost their life through violence, through intimate partnership, among others. Now, loopholes in universities. Let's check this. We have limited responses of IPV and prevention mechanisms at universities. Let me ask, does University of Embu has a gender policy? Do you also have a reporting mechanism for any kind of violence on students?
Yes, we do have a gender policy, a gender-based violence policy.
Is it with the students?
No, it is not with the students.
So you have work to do. Reporting systems, please listen to this. A multiple faceted and multi-sector approach to address GBV is needed. And also, a specific committee is recommended. I hope Mukami are hearing this. You need a specific committee to ensure that people can easily address these cases and these issues. Where I was back in the university, we used to have this structure. You can also call 1195, 1119, 1517 by UNHCR, and also 1167. So in conclusion, guys, let me say that to ensure gender sensitivity and equality, it is mandatory to combating intimate partner violence institutions of higher education.